Good day everyone, my name is Karthika Cheran and my matrix number is 23DBT18F 2004. Today I will be talking about how to operate UV-VIS spectrophotometer. To turn on, click the switch on button on the right side of the spectrophotometer. These are the apparatuses needed for the setup: solvent bottles, a pair of glass cuvettes, a volumetric flask containing the sample solution, and a waste beaker. These are the three types of cuvettes: plastic, glass, and quartz. In this experiment, we will be using the glass cuvette. Cuvettes have two opposite opaque sides and two opposite transparent sides. We should hold the cuvette by opaque sides because transparent sides are meant for the pathway of the UV or the visible light. The layout of the UV-VIS spectrophotometer is on my right. To conduct a scan, we first need a pair of cuvettes. For the first one, we need to do a blank solution scan, which means both the reference and the sample contains just the solvent. Firstly, we should rinse the cuvettes with the solvent being used. In our case, we use distilled water or deionized water. Next, use the Kim wipe to clean the transparent sides of the cuvette. We have to make sure that there are no fingerprints, grease, paper lines, droplets on the transparent sides of the cuvettes because light is passing through here and we don't wish the light rays to be refracted. Open the lid of the sample chamber, insert the cuvette in the way that the transparent sides are in the east-west direction. That's where the light is coming from. There are two cuvette holders labeled blank and sample, so place them accordingly. After turning on the machine, we have to wait for it to initialize. So on the control panel, we press 2 to access the spectrum. And right here, you should be able to assign it as 800 to 600 nanometers. So we just have to click 800 and then enter and press 600 and enter again. Next, you just straight away go to auto zero button and click on it and it will start to auto zero. We will now know it's done when the spectrophotometer beeps a sound. After auto zeroing is done, we can take out the sample cuvette. Discard the solution and we are ready to run our sample solution. Remember that the cuvette still contains some solvent. We need to rinse it with our sample solution a couple of times to ensure that the solution we are measuring is not diluted. Take note, for quantitative analysis, it is vital not to let the solvent remnants to dilute and affect our results. Now slowly pour in some of our sample into the cuvette. Put on the cap and rinse it. Then dispose it into the waste beaker and repeat the cycle again. Now we can fill the cuvette to 4/5 of the height with the solution. Don't forget to use the Kim wipe to clean the transparent sides. Now place it into the sample holder and close the lid. Then I'll press the start button and slowly you will start to notice on the screen how a graph is forming. And the line will actually trace from the range we have previously set, which is from 800 nanometers to 600 nanometers. And then we just wait for the graph to form. When it stops, you will hear a beep sound. This shows that we have managed to obtain the peak. You will see it right on the screen, and to zoom we have to press F1 and then F3 to auto scale it. When you auto scale it, we will then notice how the spectrum will actually start to look fuller, because when we obtain a peak normally, the peak will be going from this level to this level. After managing to zoom it, we'll be able to view higher graph and it will look fuller. Right after that, we press return to change the tabs and then F2 for the data processing, followed by 3. And we will now be able to see the maximum absorbance wavelength of the compound. Moving on to the last question, how to measure the sample absorbance. We will press 1 for the photometric mode and then press go to WL button, entering the wavelength that we desire. The wavelength that we desire is 600 nanometers. 600 nanometers, and then go to enter and press start. So it will start to measure the samples. After that, you will get the readings on the top. Then just change the sample cuvette with different concentrations and you will start to get the absorbance. That is all from me. Thank you.